All right. Now I guess we are recording. For some reason, I think they took the little alert telling you that you are in fact recording out. All right, so I'm going to jump on to gold because I do actually see that there may be a potential trade coming in. Now, we look at gold all the time, but the one thing I am looking at is a potential buy now, right? As an overall analysis. As I scale out to a higher time frame, I'll go into the daily really quick. We can actually just do this really quick. You can see not so much to the left is their structure, right? Like we can just highlight this. And yes, this is a very valid level of support. If we look left over here, right, starting from here, we have hit this initial range. So that's one thing that I'm looking at. But even if I wasn't, the one thing I can see is that we did try to sweep, or we did sweep these lows here, and the market cannot break through, right? Being with this wick here. So seeing that this wick here had tried to break the lows, leaving a wick to the downside, showing us that sellers tried, but buyers are more active, excuse me, that we should be looking more along the lines on a smaller time frame for potential buys. Now we can see that a little bit more clearly when we start looking at the smaller time frame, such as the 4 hour, and we look at these three candles here. This is what you will call a morning star candlestick pattern. And that is with these three candles here, right? Everything highlighted in these three, or in this circle rather. Those three candles, the one bearish and two bullish, bam, bam, and bam. That is a Morningstar candlestick reversal pattern, which is a great reversal pattern showing you that the market is in fact uh, tired to the downside, and we could be looking for some potential buys. Now, those buys could be to here, to any one of these levels. But obviously, we're going to focus on the ones that are currently in front of us. I'll get rid of this one because obviously that won't be hit before this one's hit. So we'll look at this little area for potential, I would say, targets if buys were in fact done. Obviously, if that's broken, we'll look obviously much higher. Now, when we scale down to a smaller time frame, you can see this a little bit easier in the sense of the move, right? This bearish or this bullish move in a bearish market. We do or have, in fact, broken above this general area here, which is not a break of structure, but it is showing us a characteristic of buyers taking or looking to take control. And again, another bullish engulfing candle here to kind of solidify that idea. So when I'm looking at this, I'll just move this line down because we can see how this right here, at least on this 1 hour time frame, and when we scale down to a smaller time frame, it'll be more present. You can see that right now this is being held as a structural point, which is fine, right? That'll determine a little bit when we scale down. We do have a fair value gap within this 1 hour. We are within that fair value gap. So we are very much within a buy range. So when we scale down smaller time frames, again, we'll look for those potential ideas and those opportunities. We do have an order block to the downside here as well, being here. So me seeing that order block, that can also make the market gravitate towards it. Give me 1 second. All right, I had to sneeze. I didn't want to sneeze in your ears. All right, so seeing that this order block is also there, that could warrant the market to drop down a little bit lower to push back up. So we do have a few ideas. We do have the idea of this fair value gap currently being in play. We do have this order block down there. So in my honest opinion, we'll be looking for the majority of our trades to remain long. Now, does that necessarily mean that's all we're going to be looking at? We can't go short. There's no sells. Absolutely not. There could obviously be those opportunities in a bearish market. So I'm just highlighting both areas, but I do like the idea at least for continued buys for the meantime. So as I scale down to a smaller time frame, I'll scale down to the 5 minute, see if there's any potential ideas for an entry. Actually, I'll go to the 15. Not so much. Nah, not really. So not much as far as like entry status is concerned, but I'll just highlight this level of structure here. At least on a 5 minute time frame, you can see here that this time frame or this structure here is holding as a level of support. And we obviously have our highs here being a level of resistance. Now, every and each time frame is going to have their own analysis. It's important that you draw them out, especially if you're trading based off of that time frame itself. So me being on the smaller time frame, such as the 5 minute, the 1 minute. I want to make sure that I'm highlighting these key points as well. So that way, if we do reach these areas, I can go ahead and place an initial trade. Now, I really like these buys, to be very honest. Let me just scan through, see if there's any potential entries. Because if we can get a trade real quick, bounce out, call it a day, we Gucci. I don't want to keep you on too long. And it's only just you, Kimmy. Just you so far. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with everybody else. Doing these sessions twice a day, making some good profits in the futures markets, teaching, educating, and nobody wants to join. I get messages. I swear to God, I get messages all the time. What time do the sessions start? There's a schedule. Are you doing them every day? It says that on the schedule. Is the link invalid? We start at 8:30. It is 10 p.m. right now. So hopefully we get some more people on these calls. They crazy. Yeah, they really are, man. It's insane to me that everybody was like, I only want the auto trader. All right, auto trader it is. I don't want the auto trader. I just want sessions. All right, sessions it is. Nobody's on the sessions. And then when they have the access to the auto trader, they don't even get it set up. They're just like leaving it in the background, just waiting to get set up in like 3, 4 months later. So I'm here. I want everybody to be here on these calls too. I want everybody to make money. I want everybody to pass prop firms, get funded, get payouts. Payouts are great. I like Forex prop firms as well. I mean, they're awesome too, but with the stipulations, a lot of them have some fucking weird hidden rules. With futures, there's none of that. So that's why I want everybody to be on these futures calls, and especially if there's going to be individuals who can get, 5, 10 different accounts and trade them all together. Imagine if you're just making $500, a simple $500, $500 a day to anybody is fucking fantastic. That's still great money. What is that, like $2,500 a week? Um, that's fantastic. That's like 8,000, almost $10,000 a month. Now imagine spreading that across 10 different accounts when trading futures, which is basically what I'm doing, right? Even with Top Step, I'm trying to pass a few more combines because I did, in fact, fuck up and failed. Not fail, but I had 5 funded accounts and I lost three due to my own dumbness. Like I literally just left the trades open, and you're not supposed to during a certain time. And if you do, they'll cancel your account because you're not supposed to be trading before or having trades held over into market close. So once I get these last three Top Step accounts, because I still have 2 funded, once I get these last three, I'll be at 15 accounts, right? I have 5 with Take Profit. I have 5 or 3 with like Lucid and like 2 with Apex or some shit like that. I have them all spread around all accounts. And I'm actually using a trade copier. It's called Trade Syncer. It's a cloud-based, web-based trade copier, and you'd be able to just hook them all up together. So I could trade this one combine and it goes to all other accounts. The reason why that's important is because let's say everybody else, you, Kimmy, let's say you go ahead and you have 10 accounts and you're making $500 per trade or every day. And just say, let's just say one account, but that's spread across 10. That's insane. That's a crazy amount of money, which is exactly what I'm trying to, provide for everybody in the group. So hopefully we get everybody in these accounts. Very nice. That's my goal, to have many accounts. Yeah, it is a lot more beneficial. Because when I was trading futures, I didn't really care much about having multiple accounts. I was like, I could just make my money. I'm not greedy. Like I'm not a money hungry person. I'm very simple in life. I don't really care for the materialistic aspects. But when you got bills and responsibilities, a lot more money makes a lot more, or it helps a lot more rather. So I was like, let me test this out. And once I got all 10 accounts, I'm like, shit, I can only trade once a day. Maybe even if I wanted to make $200, $300 per trade and spread that across 10 accounts, I'm good. I don't have to do anything else. And there you could obviously have way more accounts as well. I know people trading 20, 30, 40 accounts spread across multiple different prop firms. So that's the goal. That's what I want to present to you guys. That's what I want to help you guys achieve. So that way you guys make a lot more money in a very simplistic manner. Like you really don't have to do anything to make that money, which is insane. All right, so just giving you that because I was kind of waiting for the markets to give me something. We did, in fact, have this 1 minute order block over here to the left hit previously. But since we are back into that range, an order block should only be used once. So I'm not going to use this order block as a sense of any type of entry criteria. So, and I don't want to trade Nas right now because Nas is leading into stock market open. This was actually my analysis from yesterday when I was trading on my own. This is actually right after our session actually, um, and we are still very much within that range. But I'm not going to trade that just yet because again, stock market open. But I'm still liking these buys. I just want to be a little bit more cautious on this because since we did already hit this 1 minute order block to the left of us, that would give us a different idea, right? I mean, since it's already been tested, it's mitigated, and coming back to that level of structure, or not structure, but the order block, probably not the best idea. But what we can do is just highlight this structural point. Oop. So that being a nice little structural point here on the 5 minute at least. Go back to the 1 minute, see if there's anything that we can identify. But right now, nothing. What I will do, so we do have a fair value gap here. I'm just not a fan of two things here. How bearish this market has been and how close that fair value gap is in contrast to the impulsive move to the downside. Being that, like, again, you're not going to want to sell at a low point. You want to look for buys when you're at a low point. You're not going to sell when you're at a level of support. You want to buy at a level of support. Now, obviously, this market can say fuck you and just drop down much lower and do whatever it wants. But in retrospect, in discipline, in your trading, in common sense, you're not going to buy or you're not going to sell at a low. You're going to look for buys. So let me go ahead and see. Oh, we had somebody else join on. What up, Monique? Good morning, Monique. I might look for the buys here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. Now, all I'm basically waiting for is to see if this market can, in fact, come down at least to our structural point. But the reason why I'm not like immediately jumping in is one, because it's not really meeting my entry criteria. Why are we not selling as well? Because I get that all the time. It's like, well, if you know the market is bearish, why don't you just sell? There has to be a reason, right? There has to be a reason on why you're selling. You can't just sell in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes that can work out. Let's just say, and again, obviously we can't place this trade, but let's say, you're just like, oh, this market's selling, you just sell here blindly. Yeah, that could work out. But when you do your analysis and when you're actually checking on everything, you got to look left to get right to understand fully what we're looking at. And again, being at the structural point, which I may go ahead and look for these buys. Give me 1 second because I really want to see, because we are at a really nice point. We are at a nice little area for potential buys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy gold. I'm going to buy gold here in a second. So make sure if you are trading, if you have your prop firms, have MGC, right? MGC. And I might go ahead and buy gold here in a second. I'm just kind of waiting to see what this next candle does. Aha, patience. This is why I always try to stay as disciplined as possible when it comes to trading, right? I'm not just going to enter blindly. I know I said I was going to buy, but I'm not immediately going to look to buy. But I'm just giving you guys like a little heads up of the market that we're going to be trading, the direction that we're going in. And if you are trading a $50,000 account, you could be trading 2 to 3 contracts. Anything more than that is a little bit risky. but I mean, it's very manageable, very doable. Especially like if, again, let's say this is not a trade, so please do not enter. But let's say we did enter a trade, this would be our stop loss, that would be our take profit. So the risk reward would always be in our favor. So that's why I say it would be risky to trade with more than three contracts on a $50,000 account. But with our risk reward, it is very manageable. It would just have to be like we would have to be almost damn near perfect with our entries, so that way no loss could be taken and you can make the most out of your profits with that. But even with three contracts, you are fucking making some good money. You have no idea. The majority of the time, I'm not going over five contracts. And if I do, it's because I really feel great about that trade. Maybe I have a little bit more to risk. Maybe it was a really good day, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe we can make it better with another trade with a bigger contract size. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. That's how trading works. But this is why I always preach and practice proper risk management, because without it, trust me, you cannot trade them. You won't last in the markets. It'll be very hard to continue trading in the markets if that's the case. But yeah, any questions? I know we have two people on currently. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. You can type in chat, unmute your mic. If there's a specific market you would like for me to take a look at, it doesn't have to be gold. It doesn't have to be futures related. It could be Forex. It could be, Euro USD. It could be USD JPY. Anything that you guys want, I could take a look at it, break it down, give you whatever information and knowledge that you personally need, and go from there. But yeah, if you have anything, feel free. This is the boring part of trading. All right, there's only so much I could speak and so much I can say and ramble on, just so that way I can fill in the gaps, so that way you guys aren't bored of the call. But I really want to make sure that you guys are being educated. So if you do have any questions, feel free to let me know. If not, this is the boring part. We just wait and hurry up and wait. We got to wait until see what the market is going to want to give us. And while I kind of wait, let me just go into a higher time frame and see what we have. Need the education for real. So thanks. Well, yeah, what education do you need? What questions do you have? What do you need help with? What assistance do you need help with? What is it that you're confused about? What can I help with? I wish I could read minds, because if I could, I would be a trillionaire. I'd be able to read the markets. I'd be able to read everybody's mind and write books about that shit. But yeah, what other questions? What questions do you have? What education do you seek? So with how bearish this market is, and just seeing it on the 1 hour, you can see it on the 30-minute, you can see it on the 15-minute as well. I know I was looking for buys, but what we're looking at right here is a double top. So that double top is very important, because if we are currently breaking lower, excuse me, then this will continue to push down much lower. So we'll be looking for sells, no more buys. So what I'm going to do is, we do have our double top. We do have our break of structure here. The middle piece of this double top is important, because once you break the middle ground here, that will determine that the market is continuing to sell, being that that is the break, that is the middle point. This is being broken by that candle there. Selling me sellers are still very much within this market, and we should not be going against them. So we will not. We will make sure that we continue in that direction further. Now we do also have a order block to the downside here. So that could be something that the price gravitates towards. So we'll plan for something like that. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to only look for sells, because I mean, again, with such a strong move to the downside, there's no way in hell that I could say that this is just going to continue to push down without some type of buy. Now, what I just drew out right there is a 1-minute fair value gap, which you can see that has been tested already, or currently being tested. But the reason why I'm drawing that out is not to place the trade, but because if this market decides that it wants to break above we can then go ahead and look for a buy, right? That'll just determine more along the lines of the buying pressure. Because I don't want to sell this just yet. With how bearish this is, with how much this has moved to the downside already, I'm not the biggest fan of the sells. And look at that. Now, what we can do, oh, good thing I said that. I was going to say what we can do is wait for this market to break above, because what it can do from there is go ahead and show us kind of along the lines of a bullish idea. So what this will give us is an inverted or inverse rather fair value gap, an IFVG. What that will then do is hopefully if we can push down to back here, then we have an entry point. We can push to the upside. What this is also going to do is it is in fact going to create its own fair value gap, meaning that we may have a buy idea, two buy ideas within one. So when this candle closes within the next 9 seconds, the next candle will open, creating that fair value gap. What we'll do is I'll just draw the indicators here, because we do have our order block, and this being an old fair value gap, I wouldn't even pay attention to that. Well, that's surprising. The indicator did not draw this fair value gap. I just like this little indicator because it just shows you, it illustrates as long as well with my illustrations. But this right here will be the fair value gap. Since we did break above there, there's one of two things that we can do. We can place a trade even now, or we can wait for this market to come back and retest this initial zone. Me personally, I would like for the market to come back and retest this area before we look for any potential upside movement. I don't like buying, especially after such a strong impulsive move like that. I don't want to immediately just buy into this because it broke above. But since we do have a IFVG, an inverse fair value gap, this will be considered a buy entry. So we could say buy zone. We also have already a current fair value gap. So from here to here. So this entire thing will be considered a buy zone. I just don't want to buy just yet because that, let me actually come here. Yeah, I would want to see this push down a little bit lower before placing a buy. Again, it's all about risk reward as well. You don't want to just buy because it looks good. You want to make sure that it is good. What indicator shows that the gaps? You just go here to indicators and you press fair value gap. And then you just boop. I like this one a little bit more. It just has a little bit more, I would say, movement. But yeah, you just put fair value gaps and you can choose whichever one fits you best. There's thousands of them, maybe just hundreds, but I personally, I don't use the indicator, to be honest. I just use it for you guys as an illustration, as a visual. I just recommend that you do it on your own. It's always better if you do it on your own. It's for one, you build the knowledge, you build the confidence in what you're looking at. But me personally, I just have that for the sake of, visualization for you guys. But you literally just put in fair value gaps and you can just put whichever one that you personally like, whichever one that you think fits best for yourself. And the reason why I say that is because it's like one could work for me, I like it, and then next thing you know, you're like, I don't like that one at all. I like this one better, and you could use that one. So you just put in fair value gap and you get a bunch of them here. There was one that looked absolutely insane. The shit was like in 3D. This is what I mean about like you pick whichever one that you personally like, because there's a ton. There is a ton. Let me see if I can actually find the 3D one. It looks cool, but I wouldn't be able to use it. Where is it? It does look really cool. I'm surprised that I can't even just randomly find it right now. But yeah, there's one that like it's all 3D. It looks pretty cool. Please explain how to do on your own and how to read it. A fair value gap? It's very simple. You have 3 candles. You have 3 candles, right? So you have one. This has a wick to the downside, has a wick to wherever, here. Then you have a strong candle bullish or bearish. We're just showing a bullish idea right now. And then you have another candle up here. It's a 3-candle rule. And you have this gap. So you have a wick there. You have this. This is the gap, right? Between those 2 points. Because all of this is a gap. It's all price that was not really tested. What a fair value gap in layman's terms, like the very simplistic manner, without going into crazy detail, is basically just a strong move that happens without letting traders get into it. So fair value gap is the price in which the market is allowing other people to re-enter to continue with the direction of the market. So you would just highlight from wick to wick that zone. Because then if the market goes from here to here, then you can start looking for your potential buys. That's all it is. And the same thing in a bearish idea. I can just show you a good idea here. So we have right here between this candle, and this candle. This and this. Not the greatest, but just giving you an illustration, right? And then you can see how the market came back and then tested and pushed down much lower. Same thing here. This candle, and this candle. There's a gap. I draw the line, and you can see once that box is touched, it immediately has a reaction. We could do that, I mean, all day, every day. But that's just like the simplistic manner. And as I continue to trade, you'll see that. The wick to wick. It doesn't have to be wick to wick. It can be body. It depends on the candle. So don't get caught up with that shit. Like just wick to wick, body. No, it depends on the gap. If there is no wick, then you use the body. If there is a wick, then you use the wick. And damn it, I missed that trade, and that's okay because I was explaining it, but I wanted to see if we can get into that trade. I was looking for the buys right there. Was looking for the buys right around that area. But let's see if we can get something else. But yeah, all it is just like even here, like it is just a gap. All right, so you have a strong move, and then you have this candle. Even if it's bearish, let's say even if it ends up bearish, it doesn't matter. If there's still a gap, you're still going to go ahead and label this as a fair value gap. Doesn't matter if it has a wick or not. If it does not have a wick, it still counts. It'll still count as a fair value gap. And damn it, I wanted to place this buy so bad. Damn it. I got caught up in going over that. I wanted to place this initial trade. So the buys, I mean, yeah, it's kind of gone now. So what I wanted to originally do was, so we did have this fair value gap or inverse fair value gap that was broken, but what we also did have is this fair value gap here, just so that way you can see. What? Why is TradingView being so weird? It's been giving me pop-ups. It's been doing the absolute most. What the fuck? Well, that's weird. Got it. Thanks. Yep, no worries. But I don't know why TradingView is being weird. But what I was originally looking at was this IFVG being an inverse fair value gap. And then we actually did have a valid fair value gap to continue the direction of the market, which was from here to here. With this candle, and this candle is where the fair value gap was, right? Just so that way I break that down. This was the start of the candle. We had a bullish engulfing candle. We actually had a nice little change of characters there as well. Since we did break above bullish engulfing, the next candle here being the bearish candle that you see right here, again, does not matter whether it's bullish or bearish. There is a gap between this candle and this candle. You go ahead, you go from the high of that candle to the low of this candle. And then you allow the market to come back and test this area. So that next candle open, when it comes and touches that area, you look for your confirmations, and then the market starts to push higher. So that was our trade. That was our opportunity. I don't see, because I wouldn't be looking for any sells on this. Again, the reason why is because we were in such a strong immediate sell before. This new candle that just opened is immediately bullish as well. God damn. But yeah, I may not place another trade only because of this. This was our entry, literally. But let's see. Let me see. Because we are at this another 1 minute fair value gap. But again, being on a smaller time frame, looking for like this, like a reversal, if you will, because it wouldn't necessarily be a reversal, but finding something like that would be different. You know, what I mean, it'd be a little different. But I might let's see what we get around here because I do want to see if there is a potential trade. If we can place a sell, we'll go ahead and place a sell on this. But let's double check. Hmm. I might get risky. I know we've been doing really good with our trades being fucking super incredibly profitable, but hmm, I'm gonna take a pretty risky trade here in a second, most likely. I'm gonna see how this structure, this price holds. Because if it holds nicely, I'll go ahead and look for some potential sells around this point. I hate that trading view is like lagging behind a little bit. And again, just so that way you can see for this fair value gap in the candles that I'm using. This is actually an order block area as well. I don't know why I didn't see that. But what I'm looking at for the fair value gap are these three candles. This, this, and this, right? Those three candles could represent a nice little fair value gap. And we also have the order block is there as well. And you see how this candle has no wick? That's a perfect example of you could still use it even if there is no wick. Don't get caught up with, what do I use, the wick or the body? It's a candlestick. You use the entire thing. The candlestick is representing price and history that it has represented. So you have to use them all. So I'm going to draw this out again from the wick low to the body of this candle because there is no wick. And we do have the order block here as well. So there is a lot of ideas for a potential sell here, but I don't know. I really do feel like gold is wanting to be a little bit more bullish. What the fuck is wrong with my trading view? Trading view is on one today. Now I'm just being patient, but I'm really liking this potential idea for sells. Ah, I'm so mad. This was such a perfect fucking buy too. Damn it. Like literally, I was like, oh, this is the fair value gap that we're gonna use. And when we get in here, I'm so mad. This was literally our entry. I even put little buy area, all that. That's unfortunate. I like being one and done. I like being able to place a trade, let it work for us, let it ride, um, and then go from there. Now, what I will do is because I really see this to be a little bit more bullish. I'm so mad. Not mad, but like anytime I miss a really good trade like that, especially when it's like pinpoint to your analysis, um, it just gets to me because I really wanted to place that buy right around there. I might go ahead and play. Oh man, as soon as I say that, the only reason why I haven't placed it just yet is because I do see gold to be more bullish in a sense. Um, so I really want to see how this reacts around here. I don't want to just jump into a trade immediately. I want to make sure that it is in fact a very, very good trade setup. Because what we're looking at also is this fair value gap, right? which I don't like. I don't like fair value gaps that are like too close or in the beginning, or I'm sorry, I like the telltale end of the move, like this being a high point. I like this fair value gap because obviously that was the start of the move. Um, there is not any other ones that we could really identify. So this may be the area where we may look for some potential buys because I do want to continue in the direction of the market, the overall trend. But let me see what we have, and let me see what we have in the Zoom chat. Uh, I should have held my position. What position did you have? I didn't place anything. I didn't place any buys, no sells. So what position are you in? Are you in a buy? Did you personally find a trade on your own? If so, let me know. Let me see. Hmm. Now, the one thing I would hate to do is go ahead and place a fucking buy on this and then it immediately sells, but I do like the buys from this area as well. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to place a buy on gold. I'm going to place two contracts. Not the biggest, position on this because we already made the initial move to the upside. And after such a strong impulsive move, there could be or should be usually a nice little corrective move. But I'm going to take a little risk here on gold. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my stop loss just below the lows here. I'm only risking $86 for the potential of at least these highs, about two something, which is not the greatest amount. But again, the only reason why I'm not putting bigger contracts on this is because the move has already been made. My original entry wanted to be down here. If we would have entered down here, trust me, we would have been placing a much larger contract size on this, or contracts rather. But I do like this fair value gap so far. We are also getting the idea of rejection from this level with the candles or the wicks that you can see from the candles itself. I'm going to go ahead and place one more just because I'll risk a little bit more. I'll keep my stop loss a little bit tighter. I'll risk about 101. So as you see here, my stop loss is at 4034. So 4034 is my stop loss. First general take profits is at the structural high here. So let me go ahead and draw this out for you guys. I think our entry, I'll just put it here for now. Where is it? Oh, just below. Perfect. So stop loss is just below lows here. The price on TradingView and your futures account is going to be different. So if you're wondering why it looks different, it's because it is. So that's why I'm going to show you. I'm just drawing this up here on TradingView to send it up to you guys so you have the analysis and the take profit areas highlighted. But I'll give you the exact pricing here in a second on the futures market. And right now, if you have placed a trade and you're in profits instantly with no fucking drawdown, go ahead and move your stop loss to break even or small profits. So that way this trade remains safe. I'll do that for myself here in a second, but this is going to be targets one. Targets one. And I'll extend this out a little bit. Let me go ahead because how my fucking life and trading works. Once I move my stop loss to break even or a little bit of profits, what's going to end up happening is my stop loss and profits is going to be hit. And then the market's going to rally back up to our overall take profits all the way up there. Trust me, that's always what happens. But right now, beautiful trade happening right now. We are in nice profits. This is targets one. I'll scale out to a higher time frame because we should be holding this for a little bit longer if we can. And this will be ultimate targets. Now, obviously, that will be a very a long time. This will be patience, but this is what I mean about trading in general, or at least the way that I personally like to trade. I want to be able to place a trade that works for us. I want to place a trade, make money, get off the fucking markets. I don't want to stare at the charts all day. As much as I love trading, as much as I absolutely have a passion for it, I have other shit to do too. And you guys should do the same. And I say that respectfully because I think a lot of us, we get hunkered down with the idea that we have to be on the charts all the time. We have to watch our no. Once you identify a positive trade and it's working in your favor, go ahead and go do something else and let the market work for you. The reason why I say that is because if you stay on the chart and you start looking at things like, oh, maybe it's going to start selling from here, maybe I should do this, and then you close your trade and then you come back maybe a few minutes later, and you're like, oh my God, I could have held for more profits, I could have made more. let the market work for you. So right now, beautiful entry, literally no drawdown. So right now, your stop loss should be at least at break even, not even a break even. You should be in having it at small profits. So right now, that is targets one, and this will be ultimate targets. We actually gotta go to the 15-minute time frame. Jeez, look at that trade. Did you guys place it? If you guys are making money, if you guys did place that trade, feel free, let me know in the Zoom chat. It's very important that we that I motivate you guys, get our sessions a little bit more popular so that everyone is on them. I want to see everybody making money. So what I'm going to do is put ultimate targets. Ultimate targets. And today, I spoke too soon. I was gonna say today I could spell, but clearly I can't. Targets. Okay. Target. Ultimate target. There you go. Now I could spell. Got it. I should have held my position. Absolutely make money, make some money, and step away. Yes, I'm in. I'm in. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that is it. That is our call. That is our session. I don't want to keep you guys too long. My objective is to make you guys as much money as possible, answer any and all questions I possibly can, and then also really educate you guys so that way you could do this on your own, sufficiently be able to make your own trades, as an individual. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this up to you guys in the Zoom chat. So that way you have the initial markup. And what I did not see before, oh man, we may have to move our ultimate targets. We may have to hold this for a little bit longer if you can, because I know with prop firms you have consistency rules and all of that. But what I'm looking at here on the 15-minute time frame is this inverted head and shoulders pattern. How the hell did I not see this before? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. That's going to continue. That I like this for continued buys. So definitely hold this. Have your stop loss in small profits, just so that way if the world blows up, your trade's still going to be good. Something like that, because markets be doing. Our first targets were almost hit. I'm going to remove my target. I'm going to manage and watch this, right? Because I have my stops trailed, so I can hold this for a bit. Thanks for teaching us about the fair value gaps and how to identify them. Absolutely. My honest opinion, though, and I just went over it briefly. It wasn't like the greatest explanation. Definitely, and I'm saying this with all respect because I still learn on YouTube and Google. How do you think I learned how to even fucking trade in the first place? Google and YouTube. Nobody taught me. No, I never stood in anyone's classes or sessions. I never was on anyone's lives. I literally would just Google and YouTube everything. If you have the ability and you have the time, take a look at fair value gaps and take a look at order blocks. I am not an ICT trader. I don't necessarily believe in many of the concepts, but I do believe in price and price action. And fair value gaps and order blocks are definitely one of those or two of those concepts that I fully believe in as far as trading and entries are concerned. So definitely take a look at those. It'll give you obviously a much better explanation than I can. Just giving you like the very generic basic version, so that way you could implement it into your trading very quickly and very easily. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to let me know. If not, let's see, because we are very much close to our entry points. So I'm just kind of watching and managing. But let's see. Definitely will. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. No worries. Let me see how this trade goes. This is why I always leave my stop at least a little bit of a little bit of profits because the markets will market. I'm going to move it up a little bit. Haha. Now watch what happens. Now the market's going to shoot all the way back up. So if your stop loss was hit in profit, that's absolutely fine. I'm just kind of watching this and seeing what happens. Regardless of the fact, still very much a very positive, a very great trade. But let's see what we get. If we do have another re-entry, I'll place it. If not, I'll walk away. I don't want to double dip into a trade. You're in drawdown? Where did you buy? Did you move your stop loss and break even? This is why I'm always, telling you guys exactly what to do. So that way in situations like this, you guys are safe. Who is? Hit me up on what? Yeah, I might not double. Yeah, I'm not going to double dip on this. We did have, I mean, that was a beautiful trade at first. Um, but this is exactly why we always move our stop loss, at least break even, a little bit of profit. So that way, in case this shit happens, we should be good. But let me see if we can find another potential re-entry. Still great trade. Like anytime that you place a trade, you don't end up in drawdown, it moves in your favor. You end up putting your stop loss at least a break even, some small profits. It's always a positive idea, especially when the analysis worked for you. And the only reason why I didn't take profits is because even this level of structure wasn't hit. So anytime I'm looking to take profits, I want a structure point, something price has to be respected in order for me to to take profits fully. So even though we came back and my stop loss was hitting small profits, it still has every opportunity to reach these highs. But let me see. And it is not, oh, it is 9:25 too. So the reason why I'm saying that is 5 minutes before the stock market open. Once that opens, the market's going to go, "Ugh," it's going to go crazy. Ugh. Just fucking goes insane, especially NAS 100, US 30, SPX 500. They go absolutely insane. Gold, not the greatest component where it reacts that bad, but it does have some type of reaction as well. So, what I will do is because besides those two trades, besides the one that I wanted to get into here, and besides the one that we placed while we're here, sorry for the noise in the background. I live in New York City, in the middle of the city of Manhattan, so you're going to hear a lot of New York sound. So I apologize if you hear everything in the background. You're going to hear people screaming. You're going to hear cars honking. Something's always happening where my office is pretty much not outside, but it's like right outside in my little balcony area. So you'll hear everything. I got like the little Hey Arnold setup, if you will. If you ever seen Hey Arnold with his bedroom, where he has like the not the panoramic, but like the see-through roof, the glass roof. I have that in my office. Just not as big as Hey Arnold's. It's like maybe half the size of his room. Let me see, because we are. So we did hit this little 1 minute order block. I'm just not the biggest fan just yet. I want to see how this reacts around here because maybe we get into a re-entry buy here if we do see some type of bullish pressure. All right, so I'm going to take a small risk. And as soon as I say that, that shit is moving. I'm going to go ahead and buy gold once. Oh, what the hell? Well, good thing I have my phone. I didn't mean to close it, but I'm going to go ahead and place a buy here on gold. Good thing. I didn't mean to close that. So let me see. Yeah, I'm going to buy gold. Stop loss is going to be very, very tight. Right below lows here. Give me 1 second. Okay. I was able to place the buy on my phone. Thankfully, I have all these accounts like intermingled and traded all at once because I could place it on Top Step, I could place it on Take Profit, I could place it on my phone. Perfect. So I'm placing one more buy. This is, I would say, a little bit more risky because we have sold off pretty heavily from the highs here. But I did, in fact, place a buy. My buy is actually a little bit right there. All right. So my buy is right there. Stop loss is going to go right below the lows here. Get rid of a few things. Now, if we do take a loss on this, that's absolutely fine. I know we've been like absolutely killing it in the markets for trades. This is risky, and the reason why I say that is because this is more on the risky side as far as the trade is concerned, especially after such a strong move to the downside that could warrant some potential sellers to step in. But I do like the idea that we have here, right? We at least with this weird looking strategy indicators and all that, we are looking pretty oversold, at least for that impulsive move. That could just be the corrective move before we have a new impulse higher. So this is the trade setup or the new current trade setup that I'm looking at. Stops are going to go right below lows here. And my phone's going to die. So let me put that on the charger really quick. Jesus, I'm all fucked up this morning. So I'll actually just make this ultimate targets. So that way you guys aren't holding for too long. I could spell. Shazam. So this will be your stop loss area. Oh, let me get this extended. You guys should be in profits again. Come on, baby. Come on. Look at that. And ultimate targets being up here. I love to see it. Love to see it. So two fantastic so far. This one, profitable trades. Paste that for you guys. Oh my God, look at that. Oh, come on. Can can I get a holler? Can I get a holler? I'm just messing with you guys. I got to entertain you guys as well. I know trading can be boring. I know as we wait for these setups to happen, you're just like, what the fuck? Hurry up, trades. But another beautiful trade. Two profitable, great trades for you guys. So right here is your new trade. Obviously, we did have a trade down here. Ended up being profitable, but stop losses were hit at break even or a little bit of profits. That's perfectly fine. As you see right here, new trade in profits beautifully for you guys. So with that being said, let this work out for you guys. Again, move your stop loss break even or a little bit of profits. I'll move mine to right there. So yeah, definitely let this trade work out for you guys. I can't explain how important these sessions will be because real quick for the two individuals that are on, are you close to being, or for one, I know Kim, you're on a prop firm. Monique, are you trading Forex? Or are you on a futures prop firm? How are you trading this? The only reason why I ask is because obviously as this continues, as we do these sessions, we have had pretty much this entire week just all bangers, like really fucking solid, fantastic trades. Imagine doing this every day, Monday through Friday, 5 accounts, maybe even more, right? If you have more than one account, more than 5 accounts, more than 10 accounts, you'll be able to have some really good profits. So, still holding this trade. Don't get out. Obviously, this is still very much valid. Markets market, they do shit like this all the time. They're going to go up, they're going to go down, they're going to fluctuate, but still very much hold this trade for profits. There's nothing wrong with the entry. There's nothing wrong with this at all. Still very much within the kind of the entry area. It'll play around a little bit, but still looking for that. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Forex, okay, that's absolutely fine. So obviously with Forex, just make sure that you're using the proper risk management, the proper lot sizes. You could trade Forex futures with these trades. Does not matter. As long as you're making money, that's all that matters to me. So hopefully, Monique, with these trades on your Forex account, you make some great money. Kimmy, you can also do the same. You could trade both Forex and futures. I know you're on a futures account, but you can go ahead and place the same trades that we do here on your Forex account as well if you would like. So that way you could double up, make a little bit more profits as you go. But yeah, this is the analysis. I have put that in the Zoom chat. Make sure you go into the Zoom chat, go ahead and copy that the chart so that way you have everything illustrated for you, and then we'll go from there. But we also have our evening session tonight at our Asian session at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be jumping back onto that call later this evening, so that way everybody could make some more profits. Hopefully, we get some more people on the calls. But yeah, with that being said, I won't keep you guys too much longer. The stock market is in fact open, so I do want to see if there's any Forex trades that I can look at to send you guys some signals as well. Being what is today? Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. I like looking at Forex markets because during Mondays, the Forex markets are just meh. The volatility is not that great. And to be completely honest, a lot of these Forex markets have not been that fucking great, to be very, very honest. So just kind of skimming through to see if there's anything I can identify once I jump off the call, but nothing so far. But yeah, with that being said, we'll conclude for today. We'll jump back on later this evening. We'll be obviously looking to trade some more futures, go ahead and identify some more trading opportunities and see if there's more profits that can be made. But with that being said, we'll conclude for today. Again, jumping back on later this evening. If there's any information, any more trades that I can identify, I'll post in the Discord for you all as well as a signal. And I'll also, with the signals, send a recording after with the reasoning on why we are placing that trade. So there's educational purpose and educational aspects to the signal as well. So you can learn how to duplicate that type of trade idea on your own and make your own profits as well. So with that being said, thank you guys for being on. Hopefully we continue to get more people on these calls. I'll make a little section in the area for our Discord for our futures where you guys can post up any type of results, whether it's good and or bad. I really want to make sure whether we're winning or losing, you post them. It's all about transparency and honesty. We're not going to be winning every single day. We're going to have losing days. There's going to be times where we lose. It's inevitable. That's trading. But I want to be able to show that to everybody because let's say if we have 4 winning days and 1 losing day, and that 1 losing day don't mean shit because all those 4 winning days did was just give you some crazy profits, and you could lose a $500 trade, right? Because I know $500 sounds like a lot, but imagine if you're already up 3,000, 4,000, $5,000 for the week, which is very, very achievable with trading in general, but definitely trading futures in the way that I personally trade futures, it's inevitable. So, yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for being on. I'll be on the charts looking for some potential signals for you guys. So that way you guys can make some more money as well. But with that being said, thank you guys. See you guys later on this evening. Tell somebody you love them, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.